I want to talk about Ja Morant. I think most of us can agree that the association is much better with Ja Morant in it. Most of us can also agree that it's awesome to watch that guy ball, which is why most of us were so frustrated and disappointed when he decided to completely derail his own career for the dumbest possible reasons. Like, it sucked not seeing Ja out there for 25 games. But let's be clear. Ja was the reason that Ja was not out there for 25 games. Because Ja did not just flash a firearm on Instagram Live once, he did it twice. Even after the league basically let him get away with a slap on the wrist the first time he did it. So it sucked. It sucked, but it sucked because Ja did it himself. And what he did sucked. And if you know that's normally not a take, it's not. But in this case, it's true. It did suck. And it was concerning. And we were basically all in the same boat of pulling for this dude to get his head right, to get his head straight, and put all of that nonsense behind him. Because nobody enjoys watching a talent like this tank his own career. And it hasn't been very enjoyable watching the Grizz either. The number 2 seed in the West last year stumbled out to a 6-19 start. Nothing good about that. Pretty damn depressing, actually, considering it was their own alleged face of the franchise and alleged future face of the entire association that put them in that hole. So, once again, the entire situation was pretty miserable until Ja showed up again last night. And so Ja showed up and reminded us exactly what we've all been missing, or really exactly what he took away from his team and his city and his fans and the rest of us. What he could have completely pissed away for himself and for all of those that are counting on him. Clearly, the league can survive without Ja Morant. But was Ja Morant going to survive without the league? Not if he continued on that path of ignorance. But the dude is being special. I mean, him being special was never in doubt, right? And it's still not. Not after that performance last night. He didn't just pour in 34. He didn't just bring Memphis back from a 24-point hole to win on the road. He did all that, and he knocked in the game winner. It was that. Pretty crazy, too. Pretty wild that you could sit out of the sport for 8 months and then just show up and do that on your first night back. But then again, this is the type of talent that we're talking about here. And it just goes to show how messed up it is that he took himself out of the game for 8 months. The hope is the suspension gave him time to figure it out, and now he's in a much better place. And that's more or less what he said after the game last night. Obviously, that was the right call and the only call right there. Call 12. Of course, you're going to put the rock in that dude's hands in that spot. That's what the Grizz have been desperately waiting for the last 25 games. That's why Desmond Bane had this reaction to the thought of somebody else maybe getting that final shot. Funny. He asked me if I wanted to run a post up for Jer, and I'm like, no. F no. 34 points, a 24-point comeback, the game winner, and a full-throated F-bomb on the post-game podium.
He told me, no.
The Ja experience is truly back. And again, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. We all just want it to last. Memphis needs this guy to be around. They need it to last. The league is better for having this guy around. So hopefully he is in a better place. Hopefully he's figuring his bleep out, and hopefully there's no more incredibly self-destructive nonsense that's coming. I think the vast majority of us are on the same exact page in pulling for that guy, which is why the last thing anybody wanted to see go viral last night was this dude pulling a Bob Saleh and shouting out receipts while heading back to the locker room after that incredible performance. You see, that's the only thing about that I got a problem with. You kept receipts. Receipts of what? The first time you flashed a Glock on IG Live, or the second time you flashed a Glock on IG Live? Kept receipts of what? You kept receipts of all those people saying that you clearly were in a bad space and you needed some help? Because you were clearly in a bad space and you needed some help? Or did you grab receipts of all those people who grabbed screenshots of your clock and then snitch tagged you to the commissioner? Listen, dude, the receipts thing did not work out so well for Robert Receipts. I don't think you want to be borrowing moves from Bob right about now. But at least when Bob said it, it made some sense. Kinda. My guy, how were you wronged? What receipts could possibly motivate you other than the receipts from your own nonsense? You have nobody to blame for this situation but yourself. And believe it or not, most of us are out here pulling for you. Even if you make that pretty freaking tough at times. You could have hit us with, they wrote me off, but I ain't right back, though.
They wrote me off, I ain't right back, though.
And that still would have been better than going all Bob Saleh. Almost anything else would have been better than going all Bob Saleh on us. Again, receipts of what? No one did any of this to you. You did this to yourself. You see, receipts would suggest that you've been wronged, underestimated, disrespected. Yes, you were in a bad spot. You were in actually bad spots, reportedly, but it's because you put yourself there. We're trying to pull for you, dude. Don't ruin it. Don't make it impossible. Don't make people wonder whether or not you've got this thing figured out. Don't make people wonder whether or not you've learned anything through this entire thing. Because pretty much the most important thing you needed to come to terms with over the past 8 months is that you have only yourself to blame for the last 8 months. And if somewhere deep down you think this is still everybody else's fault and you need to keep receipts and records of that, then that to me is something of a red flag. Nobody wants to see red flags here. All we want to see is Ja hooping. Ja doing what he did last night. Period. Again, I hope that this dude got the help that he needed. I hope he's in a better place. I hope we never have to deal with that social media nonsense with him ever again, and we can all appreciate the amazing talent and the amazing player that he is and what he means to that city and what he means to the association. If he did that and he did the hard work on himself and it's all good now, then awesome. Great. That's all we want. That's what we're all pulling for. Don't make us regret it. But stop saying you kept receipts. Because while you may not like what you heard or read about yourself, you did this to yourself. Now, my man, reinvent yourself and make sure it never happens again. Again, like, what receipts? What receipts? Receipts from whom? Me? The TNT guys? Shaq? Kenny? Ernie? Charles? Did they say anything that incendiary about your social and who you're hanging with? Receipts from what? ESPN ranking you 35th in their top 100 NBA players? I'll tell you who's got a receipt. You know the biggest receipts from? A Walgreens-sized receipt. A CVS-sized receipt. The biggest receipt should be the one emailed to you instead of printed. One from the legend Kwame Brown. He's not wrong, right? If you want to keep a receipt, there's your receipt, except he's not wrong. Hard to argue with that. That was incredible. Throwing it back if it were a Thursday. Flashing back if it were a Friday. Just working it back on a Wednesday. I've heard of NBA young boy, but you are NBA dumb boy.
NBA dumb boy.
Kwame. Anyway, my point is, great to see Ja back. Great to see Ja doing what he did and what he does. And if he's done the hard work and he learned, awesome. Absolutely awesome. But that whole thing about he kept receipts makes no sense to me at all. Once again, receipts of what? It didn't exactly work for Bob Saleh either. I'm not sure I'd be invoking him or that analogy. Especially since it makes no sense, Ja, as it relates to you. But, my man, good to see you back. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep your head down, and everything will be awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.